Hello and welcome to Sobrix. I'm Adam and this is Sobrix. This is my channel for reviewing Lego sets and building them and other Lego related stuff. In this video, I'm going to be taking a look at the brand new Lego Speed Champions Lamborghini Lambo V12 Vision Gran Turismo. This is set number 76923. It has 230 pieces and I paid $27 for this. So this is one of the new Speed Champions for the summer of 2024. I think this released June 1st. It released alongside the Mercedes 2-pack with the, I think the AMG, G-Wagon or whatever that big SUV is. And I think there was also I want to say Aston Martin 2-pack released alongside of this. I'll be looking at those in the near future as well. But this one really interested me. As I understand it, this is a concept vehicle. It's not something that is, out in the world. And it's, or maybe not even a concept vehicle, but it's from the Gran Turismo video game or something like that, but still sounded really interesting to me. Very kind of concept car-esque shape, nice colors, tons of great angles and curves throughout here. So this looked like it had a lot of interesting building techniques and new pieces being used, which is some of the best parts of Speed Champions, and one of the reasons that Speed Champions is probably up there close to my favorite theme for modern sets, because I am consistently really impressed by the designs and the builds in these. So I'm really excited to take a look at this one, and so that's what we're going to do. So in this video, I'm going to open this up, I'm going to put this together, and then I'm going to share my thoughts on it. While I build, I will speed the video up, and then I'll slow it back down to review this set. So until then, enjoy. Okay, so while we look at the build process for this Lego Speed Champions Lamborghini Lambo V12 Vision Gran Turismo set, I just wanted to say thank you so much for watching, and then remind you, if you like the video, click the thumbs up. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button. That helps me a lot. We are now on the road to 2,000 subscribers, so it means a lot to me. If you haven't subscribed, maybe consider doing it. And then I wanted to talk about the build. So we start with the rear axle, and as you can see, we do already right out of the gate some interesting stuff with some clip pieces on the back, some bracket usage, and some pretty elaborate sub-assemblies. Then we have some Technic bricks, which is not often or always seen in these 8-wide kind of Speed Champions here. On to the next bag of pieces, we add some of the overall shaping to kind of really round this out, and it does have very sharp angles and interesting angles, a lot of cool lines cut throughout this. So I don't know if rounded out is exactly the right term, but we add on some stuff in some hinges in the middle. Then we add on kind of the tail light, the tail kind of spoiler area there, as well as the exhaust. We have the front area pretty much all done, which is really interesting. Good amount of stickers in this set. Also a lot of printed pieces, which is nice to see. There were some stickers that were my least favorite kind of sticker, but I do talk about that in my full review. And then we kind of finish everything out here with some more stickers. We add the kind of canopy area, as well as a few more panels kind of on the side, and then we can add the wheels, and then that's everything. So now we're kind of finishing up. So thanks again, and now on to my review for this set. Okay, so that is this Lego Speed Champions Lamborghini Lambo V12 Vision Gran Turismo set. This is really impressive and pretty awesome. I'm very happy with it so far. There's some things that I'm not thrilled about, but I've come to accept in Speed Champions, and other things I am really happy with, but overall, this is an impressive build. It's an impressive model. It's really unique. It actually reminds me more of something that I would see like a mock maker build or like a rebrickable build, rather than a full on official Lego build here, because it's so impressive and interesting, and using some techniques that aren't necessarily the most stable but look really great. So this is pretty cool. But the first thing we will look at is the minifigure, because you do get one, as you do with many of the speed champions in the 8 wide and I think the 6 wide configuration there. Of course, they have their giant wrench accessory here, and then this minifigure has a hair and a helmet. So this is it with the hair on. Has kind of a Lamborghini logo up there. The racing kind of suit is the same kind of color scheme as the vehicle here, which is nice. Nothing on the midsection. The legs are printed though, so it's nice to get that, including in the kind of middle where it's green and then has the black. I think this is green. Nothing on the arms. Back of the torso, you can kind of see a pattern back there. This character does have an alternate face, so much more excited, much happier, showing the teeth a little bit. This one's maybe a more, racing face or something like that. So we do get alternate faces. You can see the back here. And of course, we do get the helmet, which is just black. There's no printing on it or anything. But I always appreciate when they have a hairpiece and the helmet. I think that's really good. Overall, it's a super fine minifigure. I think it's kind of a unique color. And yeah, it's branded. There's a little bit of like metallic kind of, I think, gold kind of up on the shoulders there, maybe a little bit on the back as well, so that's nice. And yeah, I think generally it's a very fine Speed Champions minifigure here. I don't know if it's a reference to anything in Gran Turismo. I haven't played those games in a long time, so I'm not positive about that, but it is cool. It does match the vehicle. And then the rest of the build is this Lamborghini V12 Vision from Gran Turismo. So this is crazy. Like I said at the beginning, it's kind of a concept car, but not really a concept car. It's like, or maybe it is. I guess I don't know the exact definition of that, but it's like a fictional vehicle from the Gran Turismo games there. And so I'm trying to see if they say anything specifically about what color this is. I want to say green. And this is like packed full of interesting stuff. So I'll kind of go through it. The first thing is you start building with the rear axle here. And this doesn't use the typical 8 wide Speed Champion sort of chassis piece or starter brick or whatever. So it doesn't use that. So this is a pretty standard 8 wide kind of axle piece there that can fit, a Technic pin on either side, and then have the kind of Technic a Technic axle, and then have the Technic pin with less friction, so the wheels can turn there. So we start with that. Then we add like a 2x6, I think, off of there. We start using some brackets, and then same up at the top. And then we actually add in this whole sub-assembly here, which uses this nice kind of translucent blue, I want to say. I don't think it's purple, but it almost gives us this like hint of underglow. I don't know of how much of it can really be seen through here. There's a little bit up here. There's a few more instances inside with some studs, translucent studs in that color as well, that they use several of them. But that's all kind of behind here, which is its own little sub-assembly that has like the cheese wedge right there, but still has enough clearance for the wheel. We got these nice like angled slopes in here, some really good slopes up there. Those don't get added on until way later. Once we have that, we do attach this kind of angled plate up there, and then we start working on the front half. As you can see here, we do have some Technic bricks in there, and there's some asymmetry in there to get that to work, because this is such an interesting body shape. It cuts down really far, almost to like 4 studs, 5 studs in the middle there, and then goes back out. So at the very base of this, we have only 6 studs wide, and we use some of these Technic bricks with pins to kind of attach everything together. And then looking at the bottom, you can kind of see we use these like panel pieces. It's kind of like a tile with a vertical wall coming off of it, more like brackets being used in there. There's some of that translucent studs in there, same color as these angled plates up front. And so we can see like this axle there and a pin there, which isn't great when viewed from the side. You know, from most angles, it's not going to be seen, especially if it's, you know, on the ground. So not a huge issue, and would have been great if that was covered up. There might be a way to even have something come underneath here a little bit and would cover those up, because this is like the bottom of a L plate there. So there's a couple studs there that we can maybe attach something to cover that up. Maybe that's something people will look into. But all of that was necessary to kind of create the, not cockpit necessarily, but the, or maybe that is what it's called. It's a pretty unique design for that. So that's why we have the Technic in here. It also helps hold together the front end and the rear end. Getting up to the front, again, this was like very, very unique, I thought. We don't add these front fenders until very late in the game. So we start working on the front end piece, which ends up being the cockpit, but this is also the canopy here is one of the last things you add, but that is printed, which is nice. We can lift that up and we can see in here a little bit of asymmetry just based on color and everything. We do have like the steering yoke in there using a button handle. This plate here with the angles is printed, as is this slope there with the Lamborghini logo, so that is printed as well, and that's on a hinge, so we can kind of open this up, and in here is where the minifigure will sit, and it's a pretty, you know, far leaned back kind of look there. So we get them kind of leaned back like that. We can put this down over the top of that, and that's all of that put together there. And, you know, from this angle, if this was flat on the ground, the minifigure might have a little bit of trouble seeing, but this vehicle does have a little bit of forward rake, so the front axle is a little bit lower than the rear axle, so it does lean a little bit forward, so that can allow for a little better view there, which is nice. Great that the minifigure fits in there. So super interesting. Doesn't have any place to stud down, doesn't use one of those friction pieces to go between the legs or anything like that, but they're in there securely, which is nice. Once you add this, you do some really interesting stuff at the front. So that is on a hinge right under there. We have these angled plates. We put some the tile with the bar coming off of it, then a clip coming off of that, and then these pieces, these angled pieces, these are printed. So the plastic is that color. I don't know if that's like a blue or a pink, kind of a pale color there, but it's printed on top of that. On the side, this is printed. This is also a print here. Same on the other side. So those are all printed. This is printed, which is very, very cool. We also, break the printed canopy, and then the wheels have these printed rims, which are super cool, really cool detail. I think they look great. We also get these printed kind of corner tiles here, or rounded tiles there. Those are printed as well, and I think that's, and then the fenders are printed as well. They're on a black piece, but they have the kind of green there printed, so that's very, very nice. And I think that's all the printed pieces, but that's pretty impressive. I was thinking with all of the $27 Speed Champions for 2024, they did have, at least it appeared to me, more printed components than in 2023 or even before then, which is nice to see. That said, there's still a whole bunch of stickers on this, including some which are my least favorite. While we're here, I've kind of gone over a lot of the shape, but not a ton of everything. I will kind of circle back to that, but I did want to kind of point out these stickers. So the sticker sheet is over here. I don't even know what it goes up to, 27, but there's some duplicates in there. So if this is all printed, these are all printed, all of that. On this kind of angled slope is a sticker right here, same on the other side, so that's 4 there. Right here and right here, those are stickers. This is a sticker there, same over here. Beneath that, we also have that being a sticker, but I really like how those come together. It's a nice technique, and I like how that shape kind of finishes off and the color blocking finishes off. Same on the other side. This 63 is a sticker, as is this Gran Turismo logo. These kind of stripes on the rear slope is a sticker. Same for the ones underneath here. On this piece, there's actually 2 stickers, so the one on kind of the angle and then one on the flat side. Those are the same piece, right? No, they're not. Oh, interesting. Okay, so this is a different piece. It's kind of a unique shaped piece. It is like an angle, but it also has like a wall then. Let me see if it's easy enough to get this stuff off of here. So we can kind of see that these pieces, which are sometimes like this, and sometimes you might put a sticker right there or on this, but we have those flipped on the side, and that's where this sticker goes. Let me see if I can get this back in there. So those are stickers. You can see some of the internals of this as well, but then these slopes have stickers, and we can attach that back on here. Shouldn't be too bad. There we go. This is a sticker here. These corner tiles are printed, but then these ones are stickers. Yeah, looking at the other side, it's pretty much the same sticker there, there, on these, on these, on these, over here. And I think that's all of them except on the back. Now, this is some of my least favorite kind of stickers to put on. For the most part, these are pretty fine. I don't mind them at all. I found it a little bit difficult to get them on here. The rest of them are all pieces I've put stickers on many times, so I don't feel that's a big issue. But I hate putting stickers on the side of a plate. It's one of my least favorite things. I wish they didn't do that. We have these 1x3 hollow stud plates, and we put this red bar sticker on there. It might be important to the kind of look at the car. We do have red kind of throughout here, and if that color needs to be there, I understand it, but I did not like putting those stickers on. Generally, I think I did a fine job of it. It's just anytime I see that in the instructions anywhere, I dread it. There actually is 2 more stickers that I'm kind of forgetting about, which are down here. They're on this kind of wing piece, and I don't know if we can see that. It's a red piece. We just put these black stickers on both sides, so that's that. And they're covered up by a really interesting design here, which is this dual exhaust. I think it's tailpipes there, and this is crazy. They're clipped on so they can be angled, but they use this minifigure accessory piece, which could be used for like the drill thing sometimes, or some Marvel characters like Shuri, I think, uses these. Interesting piece. They also use the kind of butcher cleaver minifigure accessory there, and a flag piece. So that's to make the tailpipes back there, which is really interesting. And they kind of naturally, they're clipped on. If they're put all the way down, they do have some hollow stud things there to keep them at a particular angle. And then at the rear, we have kind of interesting Y-shaped tail lights, which is this. This is a interesting building technique with some upside down building and some clips and some hollow studs being used and all kinds of things back here. And initially, These hollow stud plates are angled out from a bracket that then goes into hollow stud things. And then, this piece is actually an inverted slope that has a hollow stud on it that it can attach to the underside of a bracket, but then be up here. So that's all, like, I'm probably not describing it very well, but there's some intricate building in here, which is really, really nice to see. But then we put this kind of Y on there, and we've already attached these kind of green bits on the red bracket, and then we angle those in, and they kind of come to nice peaks here, nice points there, which I think is really, really impressive. I didn't know that that's what was going there, but it worked out really, really well. Speaking of that, these things aren't on here like super well. This is just on an L plate there to attach to that. These kind of slopes on the side are only studded down on one place, which is on the back, kind of over the fender and wheel area there, and that's for both of them, the inner one and the outer one. Same up here. This isn't really studded down to too much, so just the one stud there to connect that. Same for over here, a lot of stuff over here, stuff up front. So those are only really held down by one stud, which isn't crazy or anything like that. It's just there's a lot of it, which makes me feel like this is maybe a little less stable than, say, like the Dark Horse or something like that. And then we have like some hinge pieces in here that we can kind of see the top of that allow for this. Then we put stuff on top of it. These pieces, which have the sticker on the side here and on the top, on that and that, those are on hinges, so we can get that. We have the hinge up front, which allows you access inside there, and just tons of really unique stuff going on here. I think the shaping of this is pretty stunning. It reminds me of an Aston Martin from one of the 2-packs. I think the Solar, what was it called? Oh, I'm never going to remember, but it reminds me of a different Speed Champions, but this is like on another level. It's I would say it's generally kind of advanced building. It's a little bit finicky. There could be errors. I did want to kind of pop these off so we could see more of this. This is the piece. This is the minifigure piece I was referencing there, which are used for the tailpipe, which is really cool. That just studs on in the middle of the underside of this plate with the clip. We add the cleaver there, then we add a modified plate with the bar, and then we add the hollow stud, and then we clip this on the rear right there. And here you can kind of see that the sticker on the side of that kind of wing thing there, and that's a sticker that you put 2 stickers on there. They're not my favorite to put on because they have this really interesting shape here, and it's hard to kind of get in there and get everything equidistant from the edges and all that stuff, and those they're pretty hard to see. I guess on some level I don't know how necessary those are, and I also, because I think they're largely just black. I don't even know if they have anything else on there. Maybe that could have been printed or something like that. For a lot of these other things, it makes sense that they're not printed. And like I mentioned at the beginning, there is a good amount of printed pieces in this, including like new ones, like the rims, these corner ones up here, these ones, and the canopy, as well as the Lamborghini logo up there, and printing done on the side, which is really, really nice. I'll kind of show how this can open up again so we get access there. So kind of this hood element, but it's not the hood, it's just the front end can lean up as the canopy can lean up. I'm assuming the engine is back here somewhere, and maybe we get a little bit of that. And then as far as the internals go, there's like not a ton, but we do get the steering yoke in there. Some Speed Champions have more internal details than this, but that's okay. It's a very special, unique kind of car here. It can roll. It looks really, really great. It's nice to see the rake here. I think the color blocking is done really well. For the most part, it's pretty simple. I mean, the little pop of red, the little pop of like pinkish, bluish, whatever that is up here is all good. And then just the green and black is overall done really, really nicely, where there's other colors like a little bit of gold on the sticker here, a little bit of a color on the sticker there and there on some of these lines. I think that all makes sense, and it does come together really nicely. I love how like these stripes end up being straight once you angle these in instead of angling them outward, and so that's all really impressive to me. I thought the build experience was very enjoyable. Even if it was a little bit finicky, I think they did a really good job. Another kind of, in my mind, a masterclass of designing and building, a vehicle at this scale, in this form factor, with this amount of detail and interesting building techniques and piece usages, and coming out to have like a kind of incredible display model, and potentially a model that could be played with as well. I'm sure it's in some ways intended on being played with, but like I mentioned, there are some finicky things. There are some pieces that are hanging off. There are pieces that are only on with one clip or just with one stud. That might be, if this were to run into a wall or another Speed Champions vehicle, I don't know how well it would fare, but very, very impressive to me, very, very surprising to me. I'll show the extra pieces because you do get some, and you do get one of the extra kind of printed corner tiles there. None of the other ones are printed, but the bucket handle for the yoke, one of these Technic pins, another Technic pin here, the visor, your 1x1s, your studs, your tiles, your slopes, all your little pieces there. And this set is 230 pieces, one minifigure. It retails for $27. That is the new retail cost for a single car Speed Champion set. For the Audi and the Dark Horse and the McLaren Formula One Speed Champion, as well as like the BMW 2-pack. I really, really liked those. Those were other ones from 2024 from this year. The first three of those, the Dark Horse, the McLaren F1, and the Audi, I think were all $27, with varying amounts of pieces in them, varying amounts of printed pieces and new elements and different stuff like that, recolors, which I'm sure there's recolors in this as well that I am just forgetting to acknowledge, or I'm just not 100% positive on. And then the 2-packs, like the BMW, the Mercedes one that came out, and I think the Aston Martin one, I'm not sure if that one's Aston Martin or not, but there's another 2-pack. I think those are all for $44 or $45, which is nice, especially like the Mercedes one, because it's over like 800 pieces, because it does have that big SUV in there. I think so. The 2-packs remain pretty good value. That way you're paying, $22.50 for a single car versus $27. Last year they were $25, and before that, previously, they were $20. When it went up to $25, I think some of the design stuff went better as well. They could be pretty reliably found on sale, and so I didn't mind that too much. I was very concerned about another price increase in such a short amount of time, and if I'm being honest, I'm not that mad about it anymore. Having seen now 4 single car packs at that $27 mark with different piece counts, they've all like really, really impressed me. And if that's what it takes to get, all these new printed elements, new recolors, and designs and builds of this quality, I'm kind of fine with it. I don't want it to go up very much or at all. I am worried about it just keep pushing up and these being $30 eventually. I don't want that, and I would never encourage that. I would love for all Lego to be cheaper. If this was $25, it would be better. That said, I understand why it's $27, and I'm at peace with it staying $27 if the level of quality remains as high as it has been in this year. So my opinion on this is that, I paid $27 for it. Maybe it'll go on sale, hopefully, so people can get it for a little bit cheaper, less than even $25, which would be great if it was 20% off. Then we're looking at $5.40 off, which brings us, down into the $22.60 or whatever, and that feels great. This is 230 pieces, so price per piece is a little bit weird. There's some 1x1s, there's small pieces, there's also printed pieces and things of that nature, and new stuff in here that it feels like it balances out to me. So I'm actually at this point, having looked at 4 of the single packs, kind of okay with the $27 price point. I would like Lego to be cheaper, kind of across the board. I don't know if it ever will be. I really, really hope so, but I just don't really have any, I don't know if faith is the right word. I don't have any confidence that Lego will eventually put these back on down to $20 or $25 without losing a pretty significant portion of the experience or the quality or stuff like that. So I'm at peace with the price right now, but I don't want it to go up any further. I can't wait to look at the other 2 packs there, because it looks like they have interesting builds, interesting vehicles that are kind of different for the Speed Champions line, as well as those being better value, even though I'm not too concerned about the value of this one, because I feel like it's okay for me personally, but those have even better value, which I think is really exciting and nice, and so I'm looking forward to those. This as is really, really fun, really interesting, kind of unlike many other sets that I've looked at, many other Speed Champions even. It's another fantastic addition to the collection, so I'm very, very impressed with this. Had a lot of fun building it, a lot of fun talking about it, and I think I have so far every 8-wide Speed Champion and several of the 6-wide, but not even close to all of them. And so this is one of my consistent themes that I keep coming back to, and that's as someone who's not I'm not a car person. I don't know a ton about cars or vehicles generally, but as a Lego person, as someone who likes Lego, these are in some ways the pinnacle for me. And I'm sure that's not 100% true in every case, but these are where I seem to find the most interesting, most unique, most impressive building techniques done at a particular scale in a particular price range, which makes me a huge Speed Champions fan. So very, very good. I like this a lot. If you like this video, please click the thumbs up and give it a like. If you like my other videos, click the subscribe button down below so you can stay up to date on all the Lego videos I'll be doing here in the future, including more of the new Lego Speed Champions for 2024, and then tons of other Lego sets from all different themes, all different shapes, size, price point, piece count, tons of different stuff. So subscribe so you don't miss those. We've reached 1,000 subscribers. Thank you so much. Now we're on the road to 2,000 subscribers. I appreciate it. If you're not subscribed, maybe consider doing it. It means a lot to me, so thank you very much. And then if you wanted to support this channel and support my videos here rather, you can do that here on YouTube with membership, supers, and thanks. And I have the Patreon. It's in the video description. It's on my channel page, patreon.com/sobricks. So maybe consider checking those things out. That's for if you wanted to, for example, give me money to support the channel, which is not needed. It's not necessary, but it does help a lot, and all of it will go back into into the channel, whether it's recording equipment or, for audio, for video, adjusting my setup. So potentially maybe my face will be shown, and potentially these will, I'll have different angles, and not everything will be top down, and maybe other things like that. I'm pretty happy with my setup right now, but it does limit kind of the upper limit of the kind of sets I can talk about here. And so when I look at bigger sets, I would have kind of a different area to do that. And then just also buying the sets. I'm not sponsored by anybody. I'm not part of Lego Ambassador Network. I pay for all of these with my own money, except for the, few times I have a viewer who might send me something my way, and then I get to talk about that on the channel, which is hugely appreciated. So that's another way of supporting. Yeah, anyway, I wanted those avenues open for that. So thank you very much. And with all that said, until next time, thanks. Bye.